Surprise! Look who's with me. We have a midweek chat. I don't know where. Hi, Steve. How you
Hey,
doing?
I'm
We'll be
good.
back.
I'm good.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah,
We'll be back in a brief second. Got a couple of things to talk about. Back in a second.
that's cute.
That video clip, it really, Steve, that video
Yeah,
clip gets me. A couple of people on the minute for the video clip have actually reached out to me. They say, I love that. I love that. I love
yeah,
it too. Thanks
hmm
so much for being here, Steve. Going to get right to the point.
yeah.
You mentioned something to me this morning about a different way that you had your coffee, and you didn't have to go to the fancy place to do it. Would you mind
Oh,
sharing it with
that.
our viewers?
Oh, that. And it's not really. It's not really a fancy coffee maker. It's used to make espresso. It's not a French press. I've never gone that route to make a cup of coffee, but people of the Spanish, Italian that are familiar with espresso cappuccino type thing. It's called a mocha coffee maker, MOKA, and it's shaped like an hourglass. I
Look
just,
at that.
yeah,
Is
I've
it
had it.
complicated to use, Steve?
Oh, all you do is unscrew this. You fill water up just below that little heat valve, right where my
Oh,
finger is. Then you got a little small round basket with a little funnel type. That sets down in here. You screw this back down, and the coffee will disperse here. Well, I used it this morning to make Cafe Bustelo. In fact, I have it here. Um, Here's the packaging, but I put it in a container, you know, with a seal on it. But I'm trying to locate uh, espresso from my hometown, or what I grew up drinking as a little kid, and even my mom and her grandmother drank it. It's called Medaglia d'Oro, but it's hard to come across in the grocery stores.
I've seen it, Steve. I've seen it in this area. Probably you could get that online. But let me ask you a question. I've had Cafe Bustelo too. Would you say, in your opinion, in your thoughts, is it strong to you, or I mean, what kind of level of strength do you get from that kind of coffee?
It's a dark roast. I mean, it's a dark roast coffee. If you're looking for a cup of coffee to give you that little, you want a little bit of a hit. I hate to refer to it like that, but that little extra.
No, no, that little kick to it. Now, that top of that device, can you just lift it up again? I have a question about it, okay? The whole thing of the coffee maker that you just showed.
Mhm.
That top of that. So the actual process to make it, you had explained a second ago because it's in two pieces. The bottom is where you place the water, or I'm a bad student here. You let me know. Okay. I was so busy worried about solo layouts that I missed it.
Well, that unscrews,
Okay.
and I'll just set that down like
I
that.
like things that are not complicated. So this is looking not
Well, I've
complicated.
got the filter basket that sits in here, but this comes out and
Oh, okay.
down in here up, but you want to make sure you don't fill it up to that valve. You want to go about a half an inch below, because when it heats up on the stove, it's got to have a place to disperse
Okay.
air to get out.
Okay.
But and that's it. It's not really that hard to use. It's
So
really a
this
very,
isn't used. This is used on an actual stove.
yeah, you can use it on an electric stove, a
I
gas
love it. It
stove.
looks so adorable. It's different.
I got it. I've had it a while. I've had it for about 12 or 13 years. I got it at a store called Ross, Ross. And I had been looking for one because I was trying to find a way to make espresso. I had an actual espresso maker that my sister had given me for Christmas one year for us. One side would do regular coffee, the other one would do the espresso. It was built in. But it wound up breaking after a few years. But this right here, there's not really that many mechanical parts to it. This lasts way longer. So when I was in Ross with my dad walking around, I saw it. I said, "Hey, Dad, look." Because remember, I lived in Spain for almost 7 years of my, well, no, coming up on 6 years of my life. So I know about the espresso, but I'm trying to locate. Amazon has Medaglia de Oro. The price has gone up a little bit on it. It's about $8 a can, but I don't need 6 cans of coffee. That's all. That's an awful lot of coffee.
No, that's a lot.
But
Steve, does one add like hot milk or anything to it when they drink it?
that's after it's done. What I'll do is I'll take my coffee cup and I'll put about yay much of milk, and I'll take that and heat it in the microwave for about a minute. Make the milk warm, or then I'll take the coffee and then I'll just I hold it like this and I just pour it into my coffee cup. Now I guesstimate as to how much coffee to put in it. And when it looks to be about the shade of color that I sort of like, it can be a little over. Then I'll take my sugar, or half and half, or however I make it. Like this morning, I used Coffee Mate vanilla. I poured a little bit of that in there and mixed it, and it's really good. I wasn't able to froth it. I don't have a mixer in my possession right now, but if I could have had a mixer or blender, I could have run it through there for about a half a minute to give me the frothing effect. And then if I wanted to garnish it with a little something or drink it straight out, then I would have had a cappuccino, because I know what a real cappuccino is. The Hills Brothers powdered stuff that you see in the store, that is a waste of money. That's a waste of time. I know the real deal only because of my heritage.
Yes,
So,
yes. You know what my thought is on this? Two things. Whenever I've wanted to give a froth effect, if you will, to mine, I will just use, don't laugh, like that, shaking a can of that whipped cream, that spray cream on top.
well, you
Put a little
can.
bit on that. It really kind of like simulates it to a degree. But what I'm thinking, that coffee maker is different. What a great gift idea. Like
Yeah,
for a birthday, an anniversary,
yeah,
Christmas.
yeah. You can, like I said, that I don't know how much they cost normally, but I found it at a Ross, and like I said, I don't remember the exact money, but I know it was no more than about $15 after tax. But that's what I knew to make espresso with. That's like, the real deal right here.
I love it. That's the real deal.
You
Steve,
can
go to oh, go ahead, Steve.
just wanted to mention, but you can purchase them. It's not a specialty item, but you can get them. They run different prices. You might be able to find them, at an online sales. You may be able to find it locally in a store. I know Amazon sells it. Amazon's got several models you can choose from. But I don't see where you have to spend a lot of money on one, because it they all do they do the same thing, for the most part, unless you're looking to get one of a certain metal material or something. Um, but they're good to have. I don't know about making regular coffee. I know if you like espresso type coffees,
Yeah.
that's what that's designed
I
for.
remember my parents, they did this, and I think of them every Sunday afternoon, God rest their souls, at 5 o'clock, because they usually used to have the assembly line of food and family. So by 5, 6 o'clock, the relatives with them would sit back with those teeny weeny cups and drink the strong coffee. I'm thinking it had to be probably espresso. I was a little kid.
It is. It would have to be espresso. Yeah, espresso. You don't need much. That'll make you stand on end, because this morning
Amazing.
I noticed I was a little more chatty than usual, and I know it was the Bustelo, because normally I drink like a medium roast everyday coffee, but my preference is really a medium dark. That's not always easy to find, though. The medium and the dark that can be a
Right.
little. But another good Italian coffee I've had that I like, that's easier to come across, is one called Lavazza, Lavazza. Again,
Yeah.
also able to be purchased in the store, Amazon, places like that. But if you like espresso, now, if it's regular American coffee like Folgers, Maxwell House, Hills Brothers, Tim Hortons, even though that's a Canadian coffee, but you get my idea, that you would want to stick with a percolator or a regular drip coffee maker. Now, you could probably take Bustelo or Medaglia d'Oro or something like that, Lavazza, and put it in a percolator. I have a little secret. If you don't have, they do make percolator filters, but if you don't have that, you can always get a paper towel, fold it over, make a little hole, slide it down in there, put it down inside the percolator coffee filter basket, and then add your coffee. What that's going to do is it keeps the fine ground from dripping through into the coffee, but you still get the flavor.
Oh, that's amazing. Thank you.
So you don't, yeah, so you don't always have to have, but you can get percolator filters, you can get them online. But if you don't have that, or if you don't have a coffee filter, you can use a paper towel as an alternative. It does work.
And this reminds me back to mom and dad with their espresso, that my mom used to have a thing called a demi-tasse set. And it was this cute little rack with these little saucers and these little cups.
Hmm.
Perhaps your mom might have had the same thing. Now looking back, that's what they used to drink it from on a Sunday or a
Hmm.
special occasion. And I remember my dad used to like to add anisette, a special occasion to that type of coffee and make
Yeah.
it special.
Hmm.
Amazing. Steve, there was something else though.
Yeah.
It's summertime now. Welcome summer, first day officially. Steve, you reminded me of a really good meal idea for the hot weather, and I like it. It's really good on all counts. What do you suggest?
You mean the pasta salad?
Yes.
Oh, that's easy. I've actually got a couple of variations. The tricolor rotini works good if you can't do that. Um, the corkscrew is a good one. You know, something that you normally would not use in a regular pasta. I've even done it with tortellini. There's a tricolored tortellini. Does it always have to be tricolored? No, it doesn't. That's just to add a little depth to it. But you can use, I don't know if they still make it. I used to get Kraft peppercorn ranch. I would
Hmm.
get a small little can of olives, chopped, sliced olives, drain it, some bacon bits or whatever. If you don't want to do that, you can get some ham or a little bit of meat and cut it up and throw it in there. And then you just mix it all together in a bowl, put it in your refrigerator for a couple hours till it gets pretty cold. Pull it out, and you're done. If you can't find the peppercorn ranch, there is an alternative. I don't even know if they make it anymore. It's been a while since I bought it. If you can't do that, just get a good ranch dressing, Newman's Own. Ken's Steakhouse is a good one. I just had it on. Oh, Wishbone makes a fairly decent one. You get a good quality buttermilk ranch is usually a good one.
Wow.
And then just add a little bit extra pepper than what you normally would, and then you can still just proceed as before with the meat and the olives or however you want to do it. If you don't want to go that direction, you can still do the sliced olives, but you could use again the same name brands basically that I
Yum.
talked about. You can do a balsamic vinaigrette. You can do oil and vinegar. You could do wishbone Italian, which I do like,
Yes.
and you could make pasta salad that way. That does you don't necessarily have to stick with the ranch. You can go the other direction too.
Yeah, it sounds like the sky is the limit, and the tricolor makes such a pretty presentation.
It
But
does.
if you don't have it, you don't have it. But
No.
just imagine, like you just said, like even the regular one with the sliced olives in there, that's delicious. Or whatever you like and have. Steve, earlier today, I think you mentioned crumbled bacon on there as
You can.
well.
Yeah,
Ah,
if you can find a good bacon bit, you got to watch the bacon bit because they're not all the same. Some are imitation,
yeah.
and there's some that are when you eat it, they're really they're like they're overly crunchy. Those I like the one where it's a little bit softer in texture.
Yes, that's actually the real to me. I don't know about everyone, but to me, the real one is the softer texture, the crumble
Hmm.
one. Steve, can this be made ahead of time? I like mine ahead of time. I think the flavors marry better.
Yeah, no, as I was mentioning a minute ago, after you prepare it, stick it in the refrigerator. As to what point? Until it's cold, because everybody's refrigerator is different. I would say at least a good couple of hours,
Yeah, yeah,
and then pull
definitely.
it out
Definitely. Oh,
when it's
this is
ready.
great. Well, thank you for that. And thank you for coming by today.
Oh yeah,
Something different, middle of the week, unexpected visitor. I love it. And I really love that coffee maker, that
yeah,
idea.
the mocha.
What a gift idea for real and for true. I'm curious to find out the current price of that. I'm going to look it up later just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
So that'll be fun. Well,
hmm
Steve, I want to thank you very much for your time. By the way, in case you didn't know, Steve Young has a channel. It's called the Everywhere with Steve Young 74 channel. His channel is of random nature. Doesn't always talk about the same thing every time. Could be music one week, could be game shows another week, could be cars, anything. Sky is the limit. His channel is never boring because all the subject matter is different. And many times they just happen to be, moseying over to the
Yeah.
channel, right? Every once in a while.
Right. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. But I want to close out the show with the following. Steve, is there anything else you want to add before I officially close out the show?
No, not really. Like I said, as I had mentioned on a previous, on I think Sunday, like I said, I had been dealing with a tooth issue. I want to bring that up for a minute. And
Sure.
again, I hope I never go through that again because, like I said, I'm not one that commonly has
No.
teeth problems. I mean, here I am almost 50 years old, and that's my first toothache. But I again, I do thank everybody for the nice comments. I'm doing much, 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 much better.
Yay.
But aside from that, no, I'm good. Yeah,
Well, we're all glad that you're feeling better for real and for true.
yeah.
Everybody have an amazing, fantastic day. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to both of our channels. Take good care now. Bye bye.